Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's overview is about Jimi Tenor from Finland. Jimi Tenor, here's his first CD right here. Jimi Tenor is an interesting cat, if I say the least. I kind of consider him like the Beck of electronic music. Like if you guys know Midnight Vultures and how much respect and creativity and respect Beck got from that kind of album of kind of generating kind of like disco and some electronic music and hip hop and pop music and stuff like that. Jimmy Tenor is like that. He in some ways he's kind of like a jazz musician deep down. Although he loves a lot, he loves electronic music. Um, he has kind of a disco meets jazz. Wouldn't say I mean disco very lightly. He has like a psychedelic kind of jazz disco feel. There's a lounge in there. There's a touch of IDM in there. Um, he's got a lot of dub in there. Down tempo, ambient music. Freeform jazz and stuff like that. Just super creative, very talented. As far as I know, he plays everything from like flute to keyboards to I think he plays guitar. He, obviously he's great with keyboards and drum machines and stuff like that, and just sound in general. Um, he's just an amazing producer. If you guys want to kind of check something funny, Google or go to YouTube and search Jimmy Tenor. It's Tenor if you don't know, and hit reaction, and you'll see my friend who has a reaction channel. His name is Trey. Maybe you've seen him. He did probably like 23 videos. I think it was 23 videos that I sent him of Jimmy Tenor songs that he reacted to, and he had never heard of him, and he just got a kick out of them, and I think he really enjoyed them and became a big fan of his music. I kind of sent him an array of music through his career, mostly through his first 10 years career, because I kind of wanted to give him a foundation, and if he was really interested, he would kind of go further with that and kind of check after. And that's kind of the heart of what I like. The heart of the period of I like about his music the most, anyways. Um, but not all of it. But I wanted to give him kind of a foundation of it and see it, and he loved it, and the great reaction videos too. He really digs his music, and it. I mean, he's just like Jimmy's so smooth. Like he's so talented. He takes some really interesting sounds and. And puts them into a rhythm. Um, he's yeah, I mean he's just kind of has this kind of like 70s kind of like you know talented but kind of struggling musician, kind of playing small cabarets and cafes and psychedelic kind of space fusion, space jazz, kind of like little clubs and stuff. He kind of has that sound. There's definitely some urban beats in there, and I wouldn't really say hip hop or anything like that, but just electronic beats and a lot of jazz music, and he's kind of evolved into a lot of dub and psychedelic and stuff like that as well. And he's just super talented, just super talented. I mean, so we're basically coming up on since this is 2024. I think his first release was roughly in '93 or '94, so we're coming up on basically about 30 years of his music. I got a chance to talk to him a couple times. He was a really nice guy. Um, I would love to get a chance to see him in concert sometime. He's kind of like my. I talked about Luke Vibert, I'm actually going to do a video on next. Actually, his overview, like I'm doing an overview on Jimmy Tenor right now. Um, J- Luke Vibert is kind of like my DJ Shadow. like for people like DJ Shadow or kind of like sampler hip hop guy. That's my new favorite. Jimmy Tenor is kind of like my Beck. Like he's kind of like that genius, that genius artist that can kind of do whatever he wants and use whatever instrument and make it sound great and unique, and all with kind of a 70s vibe, and everything's very analog, and I love his recording techniques, and it just, I can't say enough good things about Jimmy Tenor. There's really nothing that I don't like. There's a period of maybe about 2004 2007 where I felt like maybe his sound was getting a little long in the tooth, and I think he probably might have felt that too, because I think he evolved into kind of a third stage of his career. The first stage is very kind of jazz, electronic, and then it kind of gets into some urban stuff. And then the second one is kind of like all urban, kind of 70s ish. Um, yeah, and then the last maybe 10, 15 years, I feel like he's gotten into more of um, more collaborations with like dub producers and stuff like that, which you can see from some of the albums that I have. There's still a lot that I need to get to, and most of the stuff that I need to get to is in the last 15 years. And I really need to kind of step up and buy some more stuff. This is his first album. Um, it's called Sacamese. He was on Warp Records, for those who like Warp Records. I think his first maybe 7 or 8 years he was on Warp Records, and he still kind of does some stuff on there, as far as I know. But he's kind of been on some other labels as well. But I would say probably I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I'd probably say half of his albums are on Warp, maybe half, something like that. There's some really good songs on here. Crazy Hammond's really good. Theme sax. Um, I don't know how to say this one. Terrace Mees is really good too. Of course, Take Me Baby was his first single, if I'm not mistaken, which I think I have. Yeah. Um, so this was really raw. The production on him, I would say the production, but the volumes are a little bit, some are up and some down, but very raw production and recording, which I really like. It's kind of a double single. So Sugar Daddy and Take Me Baby. Here's the two-part. There's two CDs with remixes. Um, Thought I might read you them, but they're not on the CDs. I don't necessarily full. Yeah, they don't have the track list on here, but Take Me Baby is really strong. It's kind of it's a little bit different than I. So the thing about Jimmy Tenor is sometimes let's say sometimes, quite a bit. Maybe like a third of his songs are instrumental. A third of his songs are. No, maybe about a third of his songs he talks on. Let's put it that way, or sings on. And "Take Me Baby" is one of them, and that kind of set the tone on him feeling like he could do anything on a record, because he really has that. He can make anything work, and "Take Me Baby" and "Sugar Daddy" are perfect examples of that. If you know those tracks, you know. Um, very very electronic songs, and they're kind of like a space fusion jazz. It's all I can really kind of like say about it. And here, here's kind of what I'm talking about. That kind of the picture is, this is 95 album Europa. He has that kind of like, a lounge singer, space jazz musician that's really talented and really unique and kind of eccentric and different, and might have some faults and stuff, but he's super cool in his own mind. He's like a player in his own mind. And he kind of has when his vocals come out, and if you know his music, you know what I'm talking about. He kind of has that like sensual kind of player, kind of wouldn't say pimp, but he kind of has that like, hey baby, you know what I mean? He kind of has that kind of, it works for him, and he pulls it off. Just amazing. A couple really good tracks on here. It Happens Every Night. Unmentionables. Uh, Visagaton, I think. I can't remember saying that one. Take the S Train. Europa, the main theme. Solid album. This is Intervisions, which is actually the double album. This is the double CD, which has the other. They added the Take Me Baby single to it that has a couple remixes on it, and then Hurt Me Baby. Intervisions. Let's get on Intervisions. Outer Space and Downtown. Outer Space is really good. Of course, Sugar Daddy. Can't Stay With You, Baby. Tesla's really strong. Caravan's really cool. Shore Hotel is a banger. Atlantis, really kind of solid. This one really kind of put him on the map with Sugar Daddy, and that was the singles earlier with Take Me Baby. This one really put him on the map and kind of set him up for start doing videos, and he really became like I wouldn't say like Warp's main guy on the more popular side of Warp Records, but I guess he's kind of that maybe for a little bit there, especially around Time of Organisms. So many good tracks on here. He did a video for Total Devastation, but Serious Love, My Mind, Love and Work, Sleep, Xenotype, Heat, Much Mo. So many good tracks on here. Organisms. I mean, that's kind of him right there, looking like, 70s kind of player. This one, Out of Nowhere. This one maybe a little bit too much like Organisms. Not as good, but still good. It's got Call of the Wild, which I really like on here. Better Than Ever is a really strong song. Paint the Stars, Out of Nowhere. Some really trippy stuff on here. I kind of laugh because the reason why I want to do these reviews is because I was checking out Trey's reviews. He did them about 3 years ago, and Trey's listening to him, and there's some funny songs like Paint the Stars and Call of the Wild, and Jimmy's funny, man. He's just like, he's sort of like on the mic acting like he just had an orgasm on there, and he's just like, I mean, you just gotta hear it. It's just hilarious. Paint the Stars, Jimi Tenor, Paint the Stars, or Jimi Tenor, Call of the Wild, just such a unique song. Call of the Wild, somebody mentioned it was kind of sound like a jazz person. Was George Duke, which kind of makes sense, but it kind of has that kind of cool jazz mixed with psychedelic and sort of like some 70s kind of grooves. Just super unique, and you can kind of tell from the covers of these two. I mean, tell me that isn't like discographic right there. The utopian dream. Just awesome. This one's kind of a compilation. Has because this one has Paint the Stars too, Better Than Ever. New World's on here, Utopian Dream. This is kind of a mixed bag of a few tracks off another song, and then some new tracks too. Mammon, I really like. Is it Vaca Boy? I'm not. I cannot pronounce Finnish words. That's for sure. Utopian Dreams really strong on here. Yeah, I kind of went up to this record on. Well, actually, there's one song from the other record I took, but I kind of went those first five albums for Trey's recommendation videos. Utopian Dream, and then I did one song here just because I wanted him to hear this one song. It's Spending Time. And look at the cover artwork on here. Just a bunch of mannequins in sex positions. Fucking hilarious. Jimi Tenor, man, he's crazy. Look at that dude right here. He's standing on his head. Crazy. So 70s though. I mean, look how 70s that looks. With the CD on the top and the cool booklet in here. Yeah, just amazing. I love this is a great classy digipack. Unfortunately, the album, this is probably the weakest album up to that point, unfortunately. And then he kind of starts his third period of kind of more collaborations, going a little bit more deeper into jazz, maybe a little bit less electronic, going a little bit more towards, wouldn't say big band, but, using a whole band, more jazz bandish, more psychedelic, maybe a little bit more Eastern sounding. There's some Eastern influences for sure in there. I wouldn't say fully going away from electronic, but this is a perfect example. Look at that cover. You can see it's going a little bit more towards, like maybe the jazz. I think a couple of my favorites on here. I had one of these days. I went through and listed them all with my star system, so I could kind of be able to grab some of these tracks a little bit quicker for mixing. Looks like I have 2 copies of this one. 2 copies of this one. Beyond the Stars I really like on here. Track 7, which is Sisters of Salo. Track number 12. Looks like Mr. French. Yeah. So now we're kind of getting around 2009 here. This one's so then he starts collaborating with some African artists, which is super cool. This is Joy Stone with Kabu Kabu. I still haven't got around to listening to this. I got this about 4 years ago. Still haven't got around to listening to this. This one's also with Kabu Kabu. I've heard this one, but I need to give it a second review because I haven't marked the songs. This one's called Fourth Generation. This is around 2010. Here's with the famous Tony Allen. Rest in peace, Tony Allen. Passed away a couple years ago. A little bit more into the Jamaican stuff here with Tony Allen. I need to give this one a listen to as well. And then my last album, I need to play this one again. Also, this one's 2015, Mysterium Magnum. Bureau B, which is a really solid German label, does a lot of great reissues and compilations. They put out 2 vinyl double. I think they're both double vinyl compilations of Jimmy's career. I've been meaning to get those. I got those compilations in my want list. There's a few other tracks that I need to get to them, but I really need to get some more time and put them into these ones. There's a few other releases that I haven't checked out in the last 7-8 years as well. Most of my stuff that I've got from Jimmy again is like 94 to like 2007 or something like that, and then I kind of not necessarily went away from buying his music, but just there's so much other stuff to buy. Sometimes you kind of lose track of an artist, and you kind of come back and have a new appreciation of them, and that's somebody. That's Jimmy Tenor is a perfect example of that because I always come back and have a different appreciation of his music. But just a super talented artist. If you don't know Jimmy Tenor, definitely get a chance if you like Beck or interesting electronic music, a lot of jazz fusion and just a lot of creativeness with a lot of like urban funk and some post disco, and I mean he just throws everything to the wall, and all I can say is the best way to say it is probably a space jazz fusion or a space electronic jazz fusion. Since he started more in electronic music, it's really hard to pinpoint any kind of style that he has because he's just kind of like he just takes everything. There might be some albums that might be a little bit more jazz or electronic or urban or Eastern or Jamaican or something like that, but just or dub, but or even down tempo might be a good one. But he's just all over the place, and he's just super solid artist, super talented. Go check him out, Jimmy Tenor. I'm definitely gonna in the future highlight and review some of those albums. I definitely would like to rank some of those albums and then still get those few that I need to get in the last 10 or so years that I've missed. But yeah, Jimmy Tenor, check Jimmy Tenor, check him out. He's fantastic, and unfortunately, so that's on my wish list to see him live. But I'm afraid I don't know if he's ever come out to America. I don't know if he's really known that well out in America, or it's too bad too. But I still see him, touring here and there. I saw him last year. I saw that he was touring around in Germany and Sweden, and of course in Finland and stuff like that. Maybe Denmark. If you ever get a chance to see him, man, the guy is very talented. You will have a great time if you see Jimmy Tenor live. Just a excellent musician, and he can do it all. Like I can do it all. All right, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Take care.